All right, guys, welcome to Throwback Thursday edition number 3. I'm your boy Ronnie Reese here, and we always have Mr. Brian. This property we want to talk about this Throwback Thursday is very interesting property. Sometimes I'll send out different emails to different wholesalers just saying, hey, having trouble moving anything going on, what's going on? Just kind of just seeing what's out there. And I got an email back from wholesale saying, hey, I had a buyer back out, like at the closing table, pen and paper ready. They just backed out of the deal, and they needed some help trying to get it moved. So, the wholesaler, we did kind of a more introspection of what was going on with the property, found out there was a family member of the owner that was staying in the house, and they were not trying to move. It was like, no, I don't want to move. I think I want to stay here. So they were kind of just squatting, in the home. And so it got to a point where the actual owner called me and was like, "Hey, look, what's going on?" And I was like, okay." So they came and called us directly, and we could have, maybe even just bought it, not going through the wholesaler because they reached out to us. But we decided, hey, we're going to be integral. We're going to do exactly what we said we're going to do. Keep everything in place because that's really important. Those relationships of being integral is really important. So talk with the wholesaler, let them know what's going on. Also, again, worked out what was going on with the tenant, talk with them, cash for keys. Again, that's been very pivotal because you can't evict anybody. So right now,
Yeah, that's a huge thing. I'm just gonna kind of, not to interrupt you, Ronnie, but I just want to talk about that right there. I know when it comes to wholesaling properties right now, it is tough when we get all kinds of properties across our plate every day. But I can
Mhm.
just see like the amount of properties that have tenants in them right now has just shot way down because people
Yeah.
just are in the mindset of like, hey, I don't think I can sell this property, or I can't do anything with this property because it has a tenant in it. I'll let
Right.
you know, like it is tough right now with not being able to do evictions, not being able to do stuff like that. But cash for keys is always an option. There's tenants that I have that we own the properties on that they're not paying. They're in a tough situation. If they're not in a tough situation and they can't pay rent, they probably need cash. So I need the house. They need cash. Works out pretty easily. Even though they owe me cash for that month or whatever, maybe I can offer them cash instead for cash for keys. Basically, I can get that property a little bit quicker than going through the whole eviction process.
Hmm.
That way I have the property, it's vacant now, and I might have to give up a little bit of cash for it. I'm not going to get it back in rent anyway. They're behind. I'm going to have to evict them anyway. So that's just been a really good option for us. But then also working with other wholesalers, working with deals that we're working with landlords on their own, being able to kind of step in and be like, hey, here's a price I can give you your property, but I'm going to try to work out cash for keys with the tenant.
Yep.
Ronnie's been a really good job, doing a good job at that. So if you have any questions about that or how he's handling that, or how we handle that as a whole,
Hmm.
don't hesitate to reach out because we can definitely
Right.
get some insight on that. But I just want to throw that in there, Ronnie, because I do think you're doing a great job with it. But it's helped us out. It's been a lifesaver for us on quite a few deals.
Oh, yeah, it definitely has, and again, if you need help, I mean, had situations where, the wholesaler put up half and then I put up the other half, when it was time to get the key. So, I mean, that works out. But, kind of talk about maybe just, selling this property and what that was like.
Yeah, so selling this property, this was a fun one. So one of my favorite things about real estate is that you have so many different options of what you can do with it. So you can buy it to hold it, you can buy it to flip it, you can buy it to burr it out, refinance it, and burr it out later. You can do all different kinds. You can buy it to live in it. Whatever happens. This is one that is a unique strategy that's coming up that I know we're doing, and then we also see a lot of other people that are doing it as well. And I think it's a great strategy. So instead of buying it to rent it out to be able to collect rent, buy it and sell it on owner financing is a really good option. And that's exactly what happened with this, with a buyer on this one. So the person that bought it from us went there. We had this property for them. They went and checked it out. Really smooth transition. They were right away. They're like, "Yep, I want this one to fit their model of exactly what they're doing. Where
Yep.
they're gonna buy it. They're gonna put a little bit of work into it, and then they're gonna owner finance it to somebody that can't get a traditional mortgage." So I know only a third of the people here in Indianapolis can actually qualify for a traditional mortgage. That leaves 2/3 of people that are either renting or they need to buy an owner financing. So a lot of those opportunities that are out there for that here in Indianapolis, so that's another really good strategy. And that's what this buyer did. So we had a great property for them. They didn't have to put too much work into it at all once they got on the buy side. Basically able to turn it out there and then be able to go to some of their sources they have for people that are looking for owner financing options, being able to put down a fairly decent down payment,
Mhm.
favorable terms for that seller, and then maybe able to hold that note. So it's a really good opportunity. I'm really happy that this worked out for the buyer.
Yep.
Really good property to do this all the way around and stuff like that. So great opportunities here in Indianapolis. for this. And it's just one more strategy that you can do in an awesome city like Indianapolis. So.
Yep. Look, guys, thank you for this Throwback Thursday and joining us. Comment below, and we'll see you next week.